Welcome to another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles, where we are better together than separated. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to another edition. We got a very, very special, I ain't even gonna say guest. We got a very special champ in the house. Man, we got Mr. Robert Sims here today. Man, we got the champion, the heavyweight champion. And he got a fight that's coming up, that's been in the works for some time now. He's fighting Brandon Moore. Brandon Moore is 12-0, 8 knockouts. He's fighting November 4th, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. It'll be on ESPN, Top Rank Boxing. This is a special moment for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a special moment for the city.
Yes, yes.
And just like I was talking to Rob, I was telling him, we done had a lot of, we done had a couple guys. Day won NBA championship.
Yeah.
Lamar Willie won Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But we have never had nobody bring a boxing title back to Saginaw, Michigan.
Yep. So far, I'm the first one. I know I'm not gonna be the last, but I'm happy to be the first. You know what I'm saying? We got some other great boxers coming up. Of course, Jermaine. He gonna get his shot soon. We got Matthew Rodriguez probably get his shot soon. We also got James. Yeah, I know he's gonna be getting him, some fights soon. So we got some talent in the city when it comes to boxing now.
And listen, man, boxing is a heck of a sport. So we want to talk to Robert Sims today, talk about, the boxing life that he's been living and on his journey, talk about his new match, some of his old matches, but for the ones that don't know you, and, for the ones that don't know you, you want to introduce yourself to them.
Yeah, I'm Robert Sims, boxing name Sizzle. So, that's what it is. Right now, I'm just start making some bigger moves in this boxing game, before it's all over for me. So that's what it is right now.
And like I say, so this fight been in the works for a minute. Because last time I talked to you, I couldn't talk to you about it. You couldn't tell us who you was fighting. So how did this fight come about with Brandon Moore?
One day I was home, my promoter hit me up, and he had let me know it was going to be an opportunity for me to fight, on ESPN. And I was like, against who? He told me who it was. Usually when they let me know, it don't matter.
So you ain't turning down nobody.
No, I ain't turning down no smoke. When we get in that ring, whatever happens in there, that'll happen. It's a sport in the end. You know what I'm saying? No hard feelings. And we get paid at the end.
Right.
You can't beat that. So, we all prize fighters. So I don't think any fighters are really scared of each other. I think a lot of the time it's the promoters scared to put their fighters in there with certain fighters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's normally what it be, but it gets, fighters get called ducks and all that stuff, but no, that don't be what it is. When we get that call, we be ready.
Yeah. Ain't turning down nothing but your collar.
Nothing. And 95% of these guys that they be talking about, we've all fought each other in the amateur. So it's not like we,
right? Like you ain't fought them or don't know their style or don't know, know their style of fighting.
Yeah.
You know these guys, so you ain't scared of them.
Nope. Boxing is a small community, but they act like it's a lot bigger than it is. But it's a very small community.
Have you ever been a little afraid before a fight?
Yeah, my first fight, my first fight ever. We was right here in Birch Run, and I walked out, and a guy ripped 5-0. I heard he was 5-0 with 5 knockouts. Ripped. And all this stuff can be confirmed. And that was my first fight, and it was in front of so many people. The Birch Run Expo Center, it's pretty big.
Oh yeah,
it's a big spot. And there was a lot of people in there, and I wound up pulling out the win, but that was the first time I was scared.
So how do you get over those butterflies before a fight? Like get over that little, that little, it might have a little queasiness,
Yeah, well, I listen to R&B.
Listen to R&B.
Yeah, when I'm in the
like
I'm in the dressing room, I got some Alicia Keys playing.
Right.
I'm probably add some more stuff this fight, but a lot of times I'm listening, and it sounds crazy, but I listen to Alicia Keys before my fights.
That's what's up. Calm you
Shout out to
down.
Alicia Keys, but
Calm you down, hit your nerves, yeah.
Yeah, because when you hyper like that, it just over-results you. You already got that nervous energy anyway, so you might as well calm it down.
Right. So can you share your thoughts and emotions leading up to the upcoming fight with Brandon Moore? And who has an impressive record, 12-0, 8 knockouts. No losses.
Yeah.
How do you plan to approach this challenge?
Well, I don't give up my game plan, but just know I'm gonna go out there and put on a show with him. You know what I'm saying? I got a really good game plan for me. The team put it together. Jesse Addison, Lorenzo Reynolds, they putting together the plan. I'm just gonna implement it. Whatever they got me doing, I'm gonna do, and Brandon's gonna pay for it on that night.
And I know you've been on like a real strenuous diet plan that we was just working out. Because when he just came in, I asked him did he want water, and he said that he can't drink nothing, he'll eat nothing that night. So if he do get hungry, he just eat watermelon.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, man. About how your diet been, leading up to this fight.
Yeah. Well, leading up to this fight, I had surgery. I had knee surgery that I came back off of, so I had picked up a lot of weight or whatever. So going into this fight, we knew we had a lot of weight to lose. So when I tell this story at the end of the fight, and I'll let y'all know where I started at to where I ended at, y'all gonna be shocked. But like I said, Lorenzo's really good at putting together these plans for me, and I implemented it. The weight's falling off now. I'm not where I'm gonna be right now when the fight start, but just trust me, when that fight start, I'm gonna be in good shape.
And I know it'd be hard to to resist those little pieces of cake, to resist them tacos.
Oh man.
Man, to resist that chicken, that fried chicken.
Because everybody around me ain't gotta live like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like you gotta be super disciplined. You looking at everybody eating all this good soul food, Mexican food, and all these different delicatessens, and you be like, oh man, I gotta eat this stuff.
Yeah, I got my list of places I'm gonna eat it when I get back though. Just know that.
Yeah. So what's a normal meal for you look like?
Salmon, and then right now it's just like the leaf lettuce. Cut that up, put some vinaigrette on it. That's my lunch and dinner.
Right. And I know that so you how many more pounds you have to lose before this fight?
Right now it's gonna be like another 15 pounds. I'll be at the weight I want to be at.
Okay. So and for the ones that's kind of oblivious to boxing, explain to us what bridge weight is.
Yeah. Well, see, this fight I'm gonna be fighting at heavyweight, but my goal is to get back to bridge weight, which is 224. And I know if I win this fight, that'll put me right back in contention for a world title. Bridge weight. Heavyweight is gonna be a lot harder for me to get back to the big, to the top, because you got two guys up top just holding on to the belts, and they're not gonna let them go. You got Tyson Fury and Usyk at the top. You got guys like Wilder. You got some big names at the top that's not gonna let everybody in yet.
Right.
So instead of my time running out, I'm just gonna go back down to Bridgerweight and get a belt there. So try to bring one back.
So how was it meeting Terrence Crawford?
Oh, it was dope. It was dope, and I'm not gonna lie, him and guys like Shakir Stevenson and Jared Anderson, I was in camp for, I got to see how they worked out. And I know we already work hard, and everything that Lorenzo tells us and puts into us is all part of this plan too. And I got to see these guys work out. I seen Terrence Crawford get off the plane the same day I met him. He got off the plane, came to the gym, like right from the plane to the gym, sparred 15 rounds, and these was 4-minute rounds with 30-second breaks. And this was right before he was getting prepared for the Errol Spence fight. So getting to see him do that and then do another 12 rounds on the bags and on the mitts and not look tired, I'm like, this is a different level of training right here. Right. And I was like, I got to step my game up. Stuff that Lorenzo has been telling me for years or whatever. You listen to it and you do it, but then you see that this is an everyday lifestyle for these other fighters and stuff like that. You can't take no time off. These guys is great all the time.
Right. Yeah. And then as soon as you want to take some time off, you got somebody else that's working a little bit harder than you coming to take your place. So you got to stay consistent.
You got to. This ain't no halfway sport right here, because your life on the line. It literally is. Even though, you're not going you ain't gonna have a lot of deaths or nothing like that. But it's an opportunity to get killed in the ring.
Right.
So you got to take this sport serious.
So how do you, because what do you say about the saying, a lot of boxers, getting hit in the head and their brain being rattled, and when when they retire, they deal with a lot of trauma. They deal with a lot of you deal with a lot of concussions.
Yeah.
It's a brutal sport.
Very brutal. And it's it's the fighters and the coaches. A lot of fighters not real with themselves. A lot of fighters like go in there, they bang it out, and they keep doing that. And the coaches never really teach them how to defend themselves. They never really teaching them how to, take time off. So you're getting fighters that's going in the ring that with no style. So they taking punishment. They just going and taking any fight for any amount of money. They wind up broke and
lost.
And they messed up. My coach taught me from the beginning this sport is about hitting and not getting hit. So if you watch a lot of my fights, I'm defensive. I counter a lot. I'm not gonna stand there and bang. It's nothing cool about being taken care of after the fight because the fans don't go home with you. You got your wife, you got your significant other, you got your wife, your mothers, and them the people who are at home with you when the lights go off. So them the people you need to make sure you're getting home to. So you got to be, you got to have a coach in there that's willing to teach you that part of it and just don't make you go in there being a battering ram. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you have so many guys at the end of their career can't talk, slurring their words, can't remember nothing. I'm a little older and none of that's kicked in on me yet.
So how do you, because you got what, 3 losses? How do you handle the loss? Because like when you win, like you say, you can't take the fans on with you. It's just you. And when you lose, it's just you and your family as well. And being a boxer, when you lose, it's a hell of a loss. Because it's an individual sport. By it being an individual sport, it's just like, man, you would have a lot of people that was lobbying for you to win, then you done lost. Next thing you know, they just jump ships. Boxing is so competitive, man. It's so, it's so wishy-washy and flip-flop. So what I'm saying is how do you deal with that loss? Like, when you deal with your family, like how do you get over that?
Well, it's 3 things for me. One thing, if you go back and check my career, every loss that I got is split decision, which means that if I was at the point where I would have been in my career now, I would be undefeated with the promotion behind me and everything. But I went to other people's hometowns early on and got split decisions in fights I really won.
Right.
So that's why I never.
And I know you called out. You called out in one of the decisions. You wanted to rematch with I can't think his name.
I can't think of his name right now either. My last fight, but he didn't. We didn't. I didn't lose to him. He had got disqualified because he punched me in the back of the head.
Okay. Yeah. And you was calling for a rematch.
And I was calling for a rematch, and we got the rematch, and then he ducked out, talking about he had an injury.
Okay.
But no injury. And the way the fight was headed in that fight, I was taking him apart. I had already figured him out. And he's already been knocked out in his last fight, Moses Johnson. Moses Johnson. He just got knocked out his last fight, and that was supposed to be my knockout. I was so mad.
Right. Bad because you couldn't get that one. Yeah,
I was mad. But and back to the losses though. So with that situation, with those 3 losses, that was that. So I don't feel like I've ever lost. When you lost. When you're gonna fight, that this dude that took something out of me. I've never felt like that. Every fight that I win, I feel like I won.
Right.
And then also too, I didn't grow up boxing.
Right.
It's something I didn't start boxing until I was 24.
Right.
Yeah. So I walked into this sport not with the same mindset as somebody who did it when it was little.
Right. So how did you what participated you to start boxing?
I was lose weight. Yeah, my cousin. He boxed and I talked to him. I was like, I want to lose weight at the time he was in Houston. So I started training with his dad, Jesse Addison, and that was my only goal. And I remember that first week he put me in there and I got the brakes beat off me, and I kept coming back. And he told me that let him know that I really wanted to do this because he wasn't even taking on more fighters at the time. And we had a great relationship ever since then. But he put me in there real early to see if there's something I wanted to do, and I kept coming back, and then I got better.
Right.
And then, that's how I got off into it. But yeah, like my mental isn't like the mental of a person who started boxing since they've been little. They don't want to lose ever. They don't want to. For me, it's like every time I get in there, I'm gaining something because I wasn't supposed to be doing this. This is something that, God put me in this position to do. But it's not a lot of people at my age who start that late who got this story.
Right.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
About 38.
You're 38 now, so you've been doing it for 14 years.
Okay. And also, too, the part 3 of this is that I know how to separate the sport from my real life.
Right.
So I understand just throughout my life, growing up in this city, they show you fast that people will jump on and jump off.
Right.
So it doesn't affect me.
Right. When people jump
when
on.
they jump off,
Yeah.
because I'm like, whoever's supposed to be here gonna be here.
Right.
So if you leave me alone because I lost, that means you really weren't there for me in the first place.
Right.
So you was dead weight anyway.
Right.
So that's how I look at the losses. Like I said.
Out of my book, I be reading James Allen, and he say, your compliments are no more than the dust upon my coat, in which I shake myself away from. And then I have a friend of mine, shout out to KP, the man 1000. He says that I don't live by your compliments, so therefore I don't die. I don't live by your compliments, so therefore I'm not injured by your insults.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I know it's like you said, because you're going to have fans.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have people comment. You're going to have people say things. You're going to have shots thrown at you because of who you are and what you're doing. So how do you handle, the negative comments, the outlandish comments that sometimes made about
you? That's why I got such a good balance, because my wife talks to me about this all the time. Because like she might read something and it might set her off the edge, and me, I laugh.
Right.
Like I laugh. Like what I'm saying, I've been around long enough, to know that this is
right.
This is part of what's gonna happen. People gonna say things bad about you. People gonna say things good about you. And if somebody's saying something bad about you, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at that.
Yeah.
If I came into a fight and I was out of shape, and somebody said, "Oh, well, look, you was out of shape," I was out of shape. Like I can't get mad at him for stating the obvious, because I would. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some of the things that get said or was ever said about me, they don't make me mad. I use it as fuel, but I laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh it off a lot, and then I grew up, me and my friends talked about each other all the time.
Right. So words don't fade you, as long as you don't put your hands up.
There's nothing that you can say to me that's gonna make me jump off the edge. I'm just most of the time I'm gonna laugh it off, or I'm gonna laugh with you. It might be funny. It's just part of the game for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So given your experience and record, what strategies and tactics are you preparing to employ against an undefeated opponent like Brandon Moore?
Well, a lot of times you got to test them early. Whenever you're fighting somebody undefeated, you got to test them early because he hasn't been tested, and he hasn't been tested. And watching his style is stuff I can pick apart. So once they realize that they can't do what they've been doing to you to everybody else, it shakes them. And it shakes a lot of their confidence. It may not be with him. I might be in for a fight, you know what I'm saying? But I'm prepared for all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm prepared for a war. I'm prepared for me to outbox him. I'm prepared for me to make him look bad, or I'm prepared to knock him out. But either way, for him to beat me, he's going to take me out.
And you will win.
Oh, yeah. Definitely come on.
Most definitely will come on with that win. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about your training regimen and how it has evolved in preparation for this fight. Are there any specific areas of your boxing skills that you have been focusing on?
Yeah, my inside fighting. I've been wanting to, a lot of my career, I've been moving, trying to be cool in there, cute in there. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to evolve into that next realm of taking guys out.
The ugly side of
it. Yeah, So, and I know I can do it. I do it in the gym all the time. My last fight, I had to do it. In order for me to win. So now that I know it's there, it's going to be even more easier to implement this fight.
So you're fighting in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, and that adds a unique element with high altitude. How are you adjusting to your training and fight preparation in this specific environment?
Well, we've been using the elevation mask. So when I do my running and all that stuff, I've been running in that mask, and what that does is take your airway. It kind of thins your air out and stuff like that. And start doing some things later on, to work with, my body to get used to getting out there. Try to get out there a little earlier so we can get some running in out there, some sprints. And, just so when I get out there, it won't be that hard on my body, because I'm pretty sure he might already even be out there already. But it's fine whether he's in shape or not. He's going to.
Yeah.
We have to do what we got to do. But
exactly.
I'm definitely going to be ready for this fight, and I'm going to be ready for that altitude. I've trained in high altitude before, so.
Yeah, it's nothing. Something you can just adjust to.
Yeah, you just got to adjust to
it with. Yeah.
Because really, as long as you're in shape, you're going to get your second win. Yeah. It's just how fast you get it.
Have you ever had to adapt to any other environments like Nevada?
Vegas is very dry.
Okay.
So it's a dry air up there. So a lot of times when you train up there, your chest burns. Real bad. It's almost like, you can breathe, but it's like your chest is burning, almost like you inhaling a cigar or something.
Dang.
So it's a different type of air out there.
Right.
Pittsburgh, higher up in the mountains, they got some thin air up there. I trained up there a few times, but that's it. That's about it. Because you go down south, you already know you're gonna get the humidity and
Right.
the heat. That's why a lot of people go down there and train anyway. But for the most part, nah. As long as you in shape, you might feel some of the effects, but you're gonna be able to push through it.
Mm-hmm. So with ESPN Top Rank Boxing broadcasting your fight, how do you manage the added pressure and exposure that comes with such a high profile event?
Yeah, well, this will be my first national televised event, but I have been on big cards before. I have fought on some pay-per-view events. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be on TV, but it never affected me because for me, I always look at it like I love the extra exposure, but also to me, it's just another person in the corner with a camera. Like I don't look at it like that's ESPN over there or that's Showtime over there. To me, it's just a person standing in the corner with a.
So how do you block all that, the fans, the media, the broadcasters, like the analysts, like how do you block all that out during a fight?
I mean, you hear it, but for the most part, in every fight I've been in, I hear my coach's voice more than anything. They loud. So
right.
I hear them and I can decipher their voice from everything else.
Okay.
So I know how to block that out really good. And a lot of times on those, like it's the fights that ain't on TV, to me that's been wilder. Because the crowd can do what they want to do.
Right.
And and yell out what they want to yell out. And these fights is a little more controlled.
Right.
So it's a little bit more easier for me to tune everything else out and hear them. And the fans are a little further back.
Right.
These bigger cards. So
right.
For me, like I said, none of that bothers me because I mean, the fighting version of me, the athlete version of me, love lights. That part of me love.
You was made for this.
I was made for that part of it. I told them if they ever let me get under the lights, I'm not coming up from under them. So that part of me,
you're up under.
Yeah, but that's like I said, I can separate the two. The boxing version of me loves that. The regular version of me, I can sit back and chill. Yeah. So I'm even keel on both ends. Nothing's gonna make me overdo nothing because, like I said, in the end, I wasn't supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to be.
And it sounds like, to be a boxer, to have a belt, man, to be in the position that you're in, you seem like you're well balanced, like your ego is well in check.
Oh yeah. And that come from, like I said, having a good foundation of friends and family. Right. And you got people around you who can check you. Right. And you got people around you because it's no matter how you want to say it or how you want to put it. If you start getting a little bigger in life, you're gonna feel it a little bit. But you got to have people around you to check you, like really check you, not like people around you gonna be like, let's let them do that because you don't, But I got people around me who successful also. Like a lot of my, it didn't come with the fame, but me and my friends all decided at a young age, we're not going to the streets. Right. We was gonna, do something successful. So a lot of them are successful in life. So my success didn't like mess them up. I didn't come from a situation where my friends didn't already have. Right. You know what I'm saying? They already had, and we older now, so it's like, dude, check yourself. Right. At the door, and we've always done it to each other.
Keeping each other on point.
Yep. And my mother would check me in a heartbeat. My wife would check me in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's never got to that point.
Right.
But I know, like, if it ever did, they gonna check me before you even get there.
Right.
So
help you keep that ego in check.
And that's all. It kept me cool. I've always been an athlete. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. So it's always been a part of your DNA, part of your repertoire.
Yeah, basketball and football,
So, could you share any personal anecdotes or experiences from your journey in boxing that have been particularly influential in your career, especially as you approach this significant match?
My team has been the biggest influences. You know what I'm saying? With Jesse being the head of the snake, and Lorenzo putting together the stuff on the outside. I got the best sparring partner you can have, or best person I'm training with, Jermaine Franklin, in the gym with me every day. He's already high up on that list of, one of the best in boxing right now, and I get to be around that every day. So being around greatness and being around that all the time, it ain't gonna do nothing to make you great. So for me, that's been the biggest thing that's helped me in boxing is, even, a lot of boxers lose and change trainers and, I've had the same team since the beginning and nothing gonna change. They can always tell me about myself. You know what I'm saying? They can cuss me out in the gym and ain't nobody gonna have no hard feelings with each other. And being able to have that family-like atmosphere in the gym, it don't get no better than that. Right. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I'm training around strangers.
You feel like it's your family, it's your brothers, yeah. Yeah. So boxing is not just about physical strength, but also about mental resilience. How do you maintain your mental focus and determination, particularly in the face of adversity or a challenging opponent?
Because I'm a thinker. If I get hurt in a fight, my opponent won't know it. You know what I'm saying? I've been hurt a few times and people didn't even know I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? And also, like when you come from where you come from, it's hard to shake our mental or whatever. Saginaw is a tough place. You know what I'm saying? So coming from here, your mental's got to be tough. You see it in every other sport. You see Draymond's he's the voice of the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? He's not their best player, but when it comes to the voice, that's the voice and that's the heart of that team. So when you come from a city like this, normally we're always going to be mentally tough. You know what I'm saying? On stuff. We may not be the most talented, most everything else, but the mental part of it is going to be there. And like I said, when I'm boxing, a lot of these guys, that's where I'm taking them apart at mentally. Because a lot of the heavyweights don't like to think. They just want to knock you out, and when you start making them think, you throw them off. And that's where like a lot of my wins come from. It's from mentally taking a guy apart. You know what I'm saying? I know by the end of the first round what you can and can't do.
So while you boxing, you still studying your opponent.
I'm still studying.
You ain't just watching film studying. You study them as a ring as you fight.
Nope. A lot of guys I don't even watch film on because they're not gonna fight me the same way they fight somebody else.
Right.
Because a lot of the guys that they fight in a 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
Right.
You can't get a version of me that hit as hard as I do, that move like I do, but I'm shorter.
Right.
You can't. It's not just gonna be hard to find a sparring partner to do everything that I do.
Right.
In the ring, so that's why it's a lot easier for me mentally to take these guys apart because they be shot. They be shot.
So, can you describe your perspective on the significance of this fight in your career and the potential impact it could have on your future opponents in the sport?
Yeah, if I get this win right here, this is gonna put me in a position to open so many more doors. Financially, career-wise, and everything is gonna open up all those doors because not only am I fighting on TV, but I'm fighting against a guy that they want to win. So if I beat him, that puts me in a position to get a bigger fight next. That puts me in a position to call some of the shots that I want to call. That puts me in a position, like I said, to put my family in a different position, living wise, It opened up so many more doors for me just in general.
And you learning the business side of it. And being a fighter, you don't have a lot of endorsements. Many fighters don't have a lot of endorsements, but you can, it's about you spiraling your own brand out of control with these hands.
Yeah.
It's so far. We look at the Floyd Mayweathers of the world and think about the riches and the wealth that he has, and the world is at your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah.
Because where you at now, man, we can look up in 6 months he could be so farther, a lot farther, man. You advance quick in that sport. Especially when you got a business mind.
Oh yeah.
So who been helping you to conduct the business side of it? Like who you like is you working with people to learn the game and to make sure that you have your own brand, your own company, being able to promote your own match. Talk a little bit about that.
This guy named Kevin Sumner, he's been helping me a lot. In the background, he calls me, talks to me about the business part. Every time he calls me, it's not even about boxing. It's always about what we gonna do after this. What's your next moves after you done boxing? If you win this fight, what's gonna be your next steps in the business part of it? So a few years back, me and my wife started a liquor company, or whatever. So we got that going now. Also got a shoe and clothing line. That I got.
I seen that
with the purses and stuff.
Roberta Casa collection.
Yep. So I got that going right now. So I am setting the foundation. Those businesses aren't booming yet, but I'm setting the foundation for them to boom after.
Okay.
I'm done boxing right
getting
now.
them set up.
Yeah, and he was
basically
the first
just getting
the
foundation together.
Yeah, and he was the first person besides Jesse too. That talked to me a lot about being your own boss all the time. So he said you your own business. It's the one sport where you are your business the whole time. And talking to them, it showed me what I need to do after the sport to make sure that when I'm done fighting, when that money run out, I got something to build on after that. You know what I'm saying? So That's the goals right now. Like I said, they're not super duper booming businesses right now, but I'm keeping them afloat. So once my name keeps growing,
the business can grow with it. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep them afloat until
then. And ain't nothing like setting the foundation, man. It's like getting it started, And once you get out there, the business goes with you.
Yeah.
So you got your ducks all in a row.
Oh yeah, your business cannot thrive without you being the face of what's moving forward. Now, after you get in position, nobody needs to know who the owner of Nike is no more. It's running itself. But he jumped that off, through his relationships with people. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, I'm gonna have to keep my name going to make this grow to the point where they don't need to know me no more. They don't need to know who I am no more.
Yeah,
so.
how your brand so big they don't even know the face.
Yeah, you don't need to know the face of it as long as you know you buying from me.
Right.
Purchase it and break it. You bought it.
Right.
But yeah, that's what my next goals is. And like I said, Kevin's been a big part of that. And like I said, he helps me with getting the extra stuff, getting like people to come on and sponsor and stuff like that. He's been a big part of that.
And I know that people can endorse. People can support you. Let's talk about that a little bit. You can put your logo on they can put their logo on your trunks for $1,000.
Yeah, and it gets more than that too, because I always let people know. I mean, I put that on there, but then when we talk face to face, I give them let them know exactly what it is. I come to events and talk. I'm paying for the patch to be made and put on the trunk, so I don't want people to feel like they're just giving me money just to give me money. As far as the sponsorship goes, but my goal is to get their company shown on national TV. And that's not, bigger companies, they charging $20,000-$30,000 for sponsorship. I'm not charging any of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get local companies to come on with me. So the further I go,
the further they can go.
They can go, and they'll be part of the team down the road. It won't be a situation where it's like, oh, well, now y'all can come on.
Right.
Now I got this. As long as you've been with me since the beginning.
Right.
Starting out. Bringing you along. I'm not going to be one of the people that just look back. I've never done it yet.
Right. You keeping it real.
Yeah. The people who started with me, that's who's going to finish with me.
That's what's up. So, Brandon Moore has a reputation for his knockout power. What is your plan for defense and protecting yourself while still being offensive in the ring?
Just can't let him set his feet. And whenever you fight in a heavyweight, I don't care who it is, you never let them set their feet. You keep them moving, keep them off balance, keep their feet not set, because once they set, they throwing a shot. Whether it's there or not. Like a Deontay
So never
Wilder,
let him get set.
Never let him get set. Like a Deontay Wilder type fighter, if you let him set his feet and throw the right hand, I don't care what it hit, it's damaging something. So if I don't let him set his feet and get comfortable and keep his head, it's going to be a long life for him.
So who are some of the boxers that you look up to now that you're in the sport? Like, do you look up to anybody or you just...
Oh, yeah, there's people in the sport I really love. Like I said, Terrence Crawford, the Shakur Stevens of the world, Errol Spence. I love the way they fight. You got some good... The heavyweight, you got my brother Jermaine. You also got Jared Anderson. I was in camp with him. I was very impressed with what he is and what he's going to be. That he was something special. And like I said, those type of fighters, Floyd Mayweather, of course, he's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? You got Muhammad Ali too, but that's the GOAT of all of boxing to me because of what he did for the sport. But when you talk about in that ring, it's Floyd for me. It's Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd is the man. So lastly, what message or prediction would you like to convey to your fans and supporters as you head into this critical fight on November 4th?
Just know I'm not gonna let the city down. Just know that I'm, like any other fighters from here, we got the city on our back. I'm gonna go out there and put on a show. I'm definitely gonna be up under them lights for a minute, so let's go ahead and get it because this is gonna be a show.
And I just wanna say congratulations. You're doing something that's never been done. You know what I'm saying? You on Top Rank Boxing. You're on ESPN. You're in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. From Saginaw, Michigan, right here, Saginaw, Michigan. The first to ever do it, man. The first to bring us a belt. I always see him walk. Don't keep that belt glued, Eagle. I wonder why you ain't got it today. Keep that belt glued to you, man.
Right.
We need to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't hide that from us. I mean, we want to see that belt. We want to touch it. We want to feel it. We want to analyze it, look at it, scrutinize it for a bit. You know, because being a champion is one thing, but it seemed like to me you to learn how to champion life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where where you're going to be able to infuse a lot of your wins is that you're the champion life. So now it's time to be a champion in that ring.
Oh yeah, and it makes boxing so much easier. It makes this going into a fight so much easier knowing that you're putting in the groundwork back at home. Whatever you do in the dark goes to the light. So what I'm saying, the hard work I put in here, and being calm and being well mannered. You don't hear a bunch of stuff about me doing stuff out in public, or
always in character.
Yeah, always in character the whole time. So when I take that with me to the ring, it makes boxing so much easier.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you, what's been your most memorable moment in your career? I probably think I know what that is. Probably the time you won the belt.
Yeah. It was because I didn't think it was gonna come like that. And who I beat. I beat Tommy Morrison's son.
Right.
Everybody knows who Tommy Morrison is. His dad was a world champion. He also played in the Rocky movie. You know what I'm saying? So the opportunity to beat his son, who looked just like him, it felt like I was fighting him. But to beat him in his hometown,
right,
in a stadium that his dad made famous, it was
so much that was a memorable moment.
And seeing the stories about how I'll be getting knocked out in the third round, knocked out in the first round. I read so many stories with like, why am I even fighting him?
Man, don't it just feel so good to debunk them stories?
It felt so good. And then to see the support that I had from people I didn't even know who knew who I was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was people like, we knew he was going to win, or like, that felt so much good. I felt so good. And also to look at what the betting odds were.
Right.
I told people from Saginaw to bet on me tonight.
And they did do it.
Some people didn't. And I told them, I think I was like a 30-1 underdog.
What?
Yeah. It was real, like it was crazy.
What they got you at now for this fight?
I haven't seen yet, but I'm pretty sure, they're going to have him in some good odds.
And how you as the underdog?
Y'all better put that.
Well, you ain't the underdog in our eyes, man. You the winner in our eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? You are our champ. You always going to be our champ. Give us one of the most lowest moments in your boxing career, man, that you had to deal with.
Just recently. A lot of people didn't get to see that. And I did that story with Phil the other day, was letting him know about it. But right after the fight, I had to get knee surgery. A lot of people didn't know I tore my meniscus like 2 weeks before the fight. So I fought with a torn meniscus, got surgery afterwards. I was down for a minute. And right when I got back to training, my son had an issue where he had to be in a hospital in Detroit for a month and a half. I dealt with that right coming back. And then 3 days before he was getting released, I slipped and fell at the hospital. Messed my ankle up, out another month and a half to training out. So during that time, I was the first time I think I've ever felt depression. You walking around and people like, hey, champ. For a while, I didn't even want to be called champ. Going out and seeing people, you got to keep the face up. But I was hurting on the inside, A whole year of not making money from fighting. You know what I'm saying? It showed me also another reality that this could be taken away from you at any time. So it made you see other things as more important than just going to get the money and just going, it made me look at my family different. It made me look at, the people around me different. It made me look at myself like, if you don't settle down and, do the things you're supposed to do constantly, as opposed to when it's time and this can be taken away from you. So, that's what really brought me back to like, that was a really low time for me all last year. People didn't even know it.
And it kind of like put a sense of urgency on your life. When you're down like that, you kind of see your life flashing in front of you, and it's letting you know, man, it's time for you to get to work.
Yeah.
Like life could end for you any day. This could be over for you any day. Yeah. It's just a sense of urgency to get things done.
And it couldn't have been nobody but God to show me that. He pretty much showing me like, yeah, you won that belt, and yeah, people praising it, better than you going around, but I can snatch this all away from you.
Right.
And, so if you don't get back to work right away, in the midst of your stuff, that was a big thing with Floyd. He always was in shape, always was ready to work.
Right.
And I took that for granted. and you know, during
Kind of relished in the moment.
relish in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about being a boxer is like you only get a few seconds to relish in the moment, then it's right back to training, right back to the next fight.
Yeah. And all the greats, if you hear their stories, they, you know, when they done fighting, they don't just go, you know, they in the gym 6 to 7 days a week, even when they not fighting, because when that fight come, I'm already ready. I just got to prepare for you now. I ain't got to go all out. I ain't got to work out 7, 8, you know, 4 or 5 times a day to get myself ready because I'm already ready.
Right. So when your story is all the way written, when when they close the book on your name, what do you want people to know about Robert Sims?
I want them to know, even more than the boxer, the man. You know what I'm saying? You know, a good father, you know, a good husband, you know, a good people person. In the end, I want them to know that I'm an approachable person and that I gave my all during my career, put 100% in to make myself what I am, because you can't, you know, get to the point where I got to as late as I started without putting in the hard work. And just to let them know that, you know, I'm trying to be one of the greats.
Mm-hmm. And you will be, man. And we want to wish you congratulations on your new fight, and you will win. You know, man, stay disciplined, stay focused, move your feet. Don't let him plant his. Don't let him plant his feet. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do, don't let him plant his feet, man. Saginaw, we behind you, man. You know, we got your back 100%, man. And I really thank you for this interview today because it's one of the most anticipated, you know. And like I said, you are an anomaly within the city of Saginaw, being a boxer, bringing home a belt, a world championship belt, you know, looking forward to your next fight, you know. And I mean, you know, with a record of 12-3-1, 3 knockouts, man, that's a lot of fights. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah.
So what would you say was your hardest fight out of all of
them? This guy named Aaron Quintana, he's on my record. His record was 9-1 at the time, but people expected me to blow him out the water. This was my toughest fight. He was a Mexican kid, never stopped coming. Yeah. And if you watch the fight, it looked like I won it easy, but he never let me get comfortable. He never let me get comfortable the whole fight. That was the only fight I ever been in when I didn't get to take a breath. Like, we fought that whole fight, and it was constantly having to throw punches because he never ever backed down. Aaron Quintana was my hardest fight, and it's crazy because when you talk to boxers, you got, oh, this got to be it. It's like, no, that wasn't a fight.
Right.
That fight right there was the hardest fight I had ever been in. Like I said, it was the first time I never got to get comfortable.
Right. What you think your easiest fight was?
Let me go think. I would actually, as crazy as it sounds, I can't think of the kid's name right now, but he's out of Ohio. There's a picture of me on Facebook. I had to go with trunks on, and I caught him with Marcus. That was Marquise Valentine.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody had me worried because this kid was like 6'4", like 305 when I fought him. But it was my easiest fight. You know, he didn't punch hard, didn't have good movement like I thought he did, and I was able to take him apart really easy. You know what I'm saying? But it was for other people who was talking to me like, oh yeah, you know, this is gonna be a hard win for you.
Because they going on the sides, they not going on this boxing technique.
And it really was one of my easiest fights. Really one of my easiest fights. Because I was gonna say my last fight.
Right.
Because if my knee would have been perfect, I probably would have stopped him in the second round. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't go all out because I couldn't put the pressure on my knee. I didn't want to go on out there and fight. I didn't. So, but yeah, Morrison would have been my easiest fight, but Marquise Houston's my easiest fight.
All right.
Marquise Valentine.
That was
my easiest fight.
So listen, man, we with you. You know, as you go down here to Nevada, you know, man, we got your back 100%. And like I said, you know, you can endorse his, you know, you can be an endorsement on his trunks, you know, promoting your business, your company. He's fighting, he has a heavyweight fight. He's fighting Brandon Moore, who's 12-0, 8 knockouts. He will be fighting him November 4th. This November 4th, 2023, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. It will be on ESPN on Top Rank Boxing. So make sure you guys tune in and make sure you guys support our native right here,
Mhm.
Robert Sims, second our native. You know, he come a long way, you know, and we can do it by ourselves, you know, for so long, but we always need the support of our family, our friends, our city. So whenever you see Rob, walk up to him, man, and congratulate him. Walk up to him, man, and just give him a little love, man, as he go out there and go to war with them opponents in the ring. You know, it's hard, but it's fair. You know, so man, we want to wish you much prosperity in the ring November 4th, and I know he'll come home with the belt.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
You know,
Appreciate
so
you having me on.
man, I appreciate you for coming. So you want to give them all your Instagram, all your social media sites before we get out here?
I'm Robert Sims on Facebook, Cut and Dry, and then I'm Rob Sizzle 331 on Instagram. I don't have every other, you know, but those two, that's what I'm on.
All right. And we'd like to thank Robert Sims for coming in here and giving us this wonderful interview. And we want to wish him the best as he go down here to Nevada, man, on November 4th to go knock out Brandon Moore. You know. So thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles, where we're better together than separate. Thank you for tuning in.